And this is Quantum Burst, and it is the 30th of January. And here we are. We've been checking in about our Europe trip, which is not till April, but we've been talking about that. But yeah, it's all moving. We're excited. I'll post somewhere. I'll post kind of our what the plan is at some point. But yeah. All right, checking in. How are you? How was your week? What's up? What's moving? What are you noticing? Everybody all at once. All right, I'll give you an update on the Wimberley thing. Haven't heard another word. However, I did watch their announcements on Sunday just because I was curious, and they reported the survey results. And then just a minute ago, a friend of mine sent me that they sent the survey results to their entire mailing list. And on Sunday, inside their announcements, they said that they've got some other, we don't just jump with the first person we see, and we've got some other people, and we'll be looking at them, and and so it just feels like it feels like that door is closed to me. Now, I haven't called them and said, no, thank you. I haven't done any of that because I'm waiting for them to communicate with me without being snarky about it. And they still could call and make an offer, and I'll be like, yeah, I think so. But I went from yeah, I can do this, give myself permission to say yes, to, oh, wait, full permission to say no, to, oh, I'm not very impressed with how they're handling this segment and how they announced the surveys. And the bottom line, I had lots of positive stuff, but the bottom, there's two final questions, and one of them is would you support, I don't know how they phrased it, support this person as your senior minister? And 68% said yes, which is okay. But 36 said no, and I went, oh, this is not my place to be. So I've had my process, I've had my little sting, and then reminded myself and Rob too that all I wanted was clarity. I can't take any of this personal because all I wanted is absolute clarity, and then getting more and more clarity that that is not really what I'm interested in doing. And we can still go see the kids, right? With more freedom. So that's my update. The continuing saga of no information.
But nothing actually directly from them at all.
No,
they didn't send you the survey results, so you could see it.
Okay. And they actually said when I was still there that they would, but they put it out in their email list, so it could go to like thousands of people.
Yeah,
not to be very odd.
I don't like the way they operate.
Exactly, and that's what they're showing. And one of the feedbacks. Oh, and he said there were 31 comments received where you could type in, and he summarized. He said there's the biggest concern is around the commitment about moving to Wimberley, which we were talking about doing an RV and getting there over time, and so that makes sense because energetically that makes sense. But the second one was lack of connection with prior sermons. What does that even mean? Like, it was weird. And then he said another one, and then he said, and there were lots of positive comments. So he listed 3 negatives and said
say what they were.
Positive. That feels odd, but whatever. Anyway.
Did they say how many total survey respondents there were?
Yeah, there were 76 total respondents and 31 left comments.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. Other than that,
well, you wanted an answer, so
I know I'm getting it already.
It's coming, little by little. It's coming,
little by little, little by little, quantum leaping. Yeah. So that's me. How about you? What's up? What's moving?
Well, we had sunshine yesterday for the first time in 168 hours,
Wow.
which is almost 7 days. Yes, I didn't count it, but they told, and we were kind of wondering why we were like dragging. Even the cats, I'm like, I'm not seeing the cats like all day. They were just like sound asleep in the meditation room, on from life. So the sun was very helpful. Um, we've just been having we're on our 5th book for January, halfway done, because the weather's been so horrible and there's nothing, but that's all right because we enjoy that. And we started playing this new game. We play Wordle, Quirtle, and Octordle every day, and we play them together. So we both put in a different word on Wordle, and then we kind of go back and forth, and then we have a little better chance of getting it because we're both playing. And we do that on all of them. But now and if you haven't played Connections, you should play Connections. It gives you this little box with 16 words, and there's something that connects each set of 4 somehow. And so you're trying to guess which 4 might go together. And they could like all be playing pieces on a Monopoly board, or the last name of rap singers, or, I mean, it could be anything in the world. And that's our favorite game. It's really fun. Anyway, so we're just trying to do some things to keep ourselves enthused and stimulated and all that jazz. And Shirley leaves for Florida on Saturday. Gonna go visit her brother. So it's supposedly my niece and her kid just got back from Florida recently, and it was cold and overcast their whole trip, but supposedly that will be changing soon. So have a lovely Florida trip. You can actually fly from Springfield straight to Punta Gorda nonstop,
Wow.
which you can't do many things. And he lives right outside of there. So off they go. So things are just kind of quiet here. We're just kind of being, and being is good. I do see that Elon Musk has developed a new something to implant in people's brains today to help them be able to like do their email and phone things from their brain without their fingers. I do wish we'd put our energies into something. What can I say? It's just kind of cold. That, and I quit worrying about the election,
Oh, good
which
job.
is fabulous. You know, I'm not going to give it any power
Good job.
because why? There you go.
Awesome.
Hey, well, today was end of year review at work. So and there's always a little bit of angst around that. And, I tend to be hypercritical of what I do on my own stuff, like, if I'm doing what have you. And the end of year review is made up of your managed input as well as self or assessments from others that you work with or around or whatever. And we started this review, and it's like she starts describing this person that just like comes close to walking on water, and just all kinds of good stuff. In fact, one of the comments from someone was, "If you want a project to be green, select Steve Latham. Issue
Wow.
resolved, call Steve Latham." Just on and on and on. It's like, wow. So it just really kind of twisted my afternoon around into from angst to surprise. And I don't really get down on myself, but it's like I tend to be more critical of what I do than perhaps than obviously others are. So anyway, energetically, it made for a nice afternoon at work.
Nice.
Let's see. Things going on. We chatted with my daughter last weekend. I think it was last weekend. recently anyway, and she's still going through some pretty tough times and has not fully resolved whatever's going on there. We don't have any, still don't have any what it is, but you know, we keep just maintaining the contact and letting her know we're there. So and all you can do is what you can do, you know.
Mhm.
And other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to share.
Well, those are two really awesome things, though. Congratulations, and remember to look at yourself through the eyes of your coworkers.
A lot. And yeah, she said, in fact, you know, we can't really talk compensation at this point because we do that later on in March. But she said, I've definitely in the talent, there was some sort of talent tool, have put you in as ready for. So if there's promotions to be had, there might be one of those coming my way. So that'd be cool.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm glad you're talking to Annie. It's better than text when you hear her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy, I think you just you got muted. You unmuted and then it went muted again.
Yeah, because the cat started up.
Oh,
He's just, it's weird time, you know. I have to say this about Steve and work, you know, Eliza, you've ridden all these years of being the golden boy and the not golden. I mean, what an odyssey with this company. And I remember we joked one time, but maybe it was Annie or somebody said, well, if they like you so much, why do they keep, you know, laying you off and then they hire you back? And finally we looked at them and there's so much of life. Well, it's not personal. It's really not personal. You really feels personal, but it wasn't. And we used to say, or he'd say, we don't hold a grudge. If they want to hire you back and pay you, and you can do the work, you know, to say has potentially ministerial, if the right one comes along, and the right one is like, I just want to tap in that feeling that Steve has just gotten just lately or today of being really appreciated. You want that. You want them to want you. And you deserve that, as does the place that works with you. So I would, and I have to say, and one of the things that they gave Steve accolades for is that he has this way, and he's, even though I test him to the hilt, he has a way of just getting people to cooperate. You know, many of you have these same skills, but he just can take bizarre situations and finds the people to find the solutions. And I think that's one of the which he's done for the last 10 months with me, or the last year and a half. So I have to give accolades to that ability. And how am I doing? I'm good. I'm having a really great energy day, and they're building, you know, I just hit the 10-month of recovery on the 21st. And I can just see it. Not only do I walk and I do things today, it was one of those where I just saw things that needed to be done. And sometimes Steve does them. And I was like, I can do that. And I went out and, you know, did stuff outside and did all kinds of stuff and didn't want to sit down. And until I did take a nap in the afternoon, because I had this burst and it was like, whoa, okay, we deserve a kitty moment and a little nap. So I did do that. But it feels so good to feel better, and to be in the feeling of not just, you know, saying it or but to feel it deeply, and that's fun. And you know what? I am just spending a lot of time. I know I'm reading a lot. I'm looking at stuff that goes deep, just how you traverse or how I would have live the remainder of whatever time I have on this planet. Does that make sense? I probably thought there's years ago too, but It's like, well, what do I want to be doing now? What is this part about? You know, what's this next part about? And feeling like that. And I will say this in talking to Annie, you know, I think we both try to do our best because we know that it's something she doesn't want to talk about, but we invite her to talk about it, to say, is there more that you're ready to share now? Do you want us to know more? And what's her, she'd say, not really. And she'd say, not really, not yet, not really. So, you know, we just have to back up and go, okay, ours is just to hold the energy for her. Because, you know, haven't we all been through major in our life and it just looked like crap to the outside world, but it had to happen within you. And the other plus side, I want to just give this on my kids, Holly and Strider were at which is the University of Northern Colorado. Eliza might remember that in Greeley. And they did a tour, got a really in-depth tour. We went to the theater department. And she says, Mom, I am so amazed at this kid. She says, he is not shy about anything. He will go in, he finds out what he wants to find out. He delves into it. What does he have to do? What does it take? And she said, he's just zoned. And they're hoping that he gets into the theater. And how this is not to get before it happen, I don't know. But you know what? They're not holding that in mind. They're just leaning into the probability, not the possibility. So good, they're good for me right now. So that's it.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations. And Linda, while you're back,
I don't know what the problem is, but our internet is completely, it's just doesn't even show up as here. So the network's down and I hooked up to my iPhone hotspot, but that's what keeps going in and out. So I only heard part of what even when I was around, you were still going in and out and I didn't hear a lot of this, but so we'll just see what happens.
so how are you outside of your internet?
Well, I thought about how it's sort of reflective about how there's a lot of this yay, yay. So I'm doing fine. I'm happy to be here. I just am it's not as smooth and graceful as I sort of my mind that it was going to be, and that's okay. I can roll with it, you know, but it's longer to sort of set up. Part of it is I'm just the learning how to just what to do next, you know, making decisions for myself. It's really about making decisions that I don't want, that can go here, you know, I'm going to keep this, I'm not going to keep that. Those kind of you know, it's I end up eating a lot because that seems to help. And I'm just sort of watching the process, you know, amused most of the time, you know. I didn't like not being able to participate early, so I'm going with the flow. I'm okay. I'm just got a little frazzled there for a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. All right. All right. And my internet is also unstable. So if I go away, I'll be back. I don't know what to do about that because it seems like it's been unstable for a week and a half. Yet when I run speed test and those things, it looks fine. So I don't know. It's the computer or something. I don't know. Anyway.
I can just share one thing for Linda.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
The reflection of your light on the back wall looks like a big bunny rabbit.
Oh,
there's like
the
ears and
Oh, it does, yeah.
Oh, that's great. I was getting ready to turn it off because I like it.
That's awesome. I didn't see it at all until you said it, and then boom. There it is. All right, so we are wondrous enlightenment, knowing all is well and it is done as we quantum leap ourselves and our world in miraculous outcomes. What is wondrous enlightenment today? The thing we were doing this morning was sourcing solutions or sourcing possibilities. And the way that it was feeling, the way that it was going was from this level, we can do this. But when we source, the possibilities are much broader and brighter. And so whether it's like how to get the internet to work or navigating our kids or the weather or interview processes or whatever it is that's going, to just lift it up and open it up to look for what's possible. And that feels to me like that also activates wondrous enlightenment and awe. And like, aw. So comments about that or anything you want to focus on as the group today?
My God, you let a little sunshine come out and we all go, "Ooh," get a little addled. I feel like I'm doing what Kate said, you know, even down here, we've had the gray and it was just getting a little off kilter and the sunshines out. So possibilities and solutions always seem easier when the light is around us, as well as I like the source. My brain says I should lean to possibilities, but I think I'm looking for solutions right now. I'm just trying to find out a direction that we need to be moving in, and so I'm looking for. Can I pick both of them?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
How about sourcing possibilities?
Yeah.
Sourcing possibilities and solutions. Sourcing possible solutions. 42. What does that mean, Steve?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The ultimate answer to all the questions in the universe. You have to watch the movie to be meaningful.
Okay. Funny. All right, so other comments? Sourcing possibilities and solutions. So what do you want to run today? What do you want to play with today? Steve, I think you're our program picker. You seem to have fallen into that role.
I was just sitting here thinking it's a shame there's not something like a little button you push and it randomizes and spins like a little wheel and pops. Oh, look, it's a gems.
Oh, look, it's the gems.
I mean, that's
Are we good with gems?
Yeah, I like Jim's always seems to come up with some spot on stuff
Yeah.
for me.
And for me, the way they're written is so yummy. Like some of the other ones, are like, what? It's like they never make sense, but this one is written. Let's do jumps. So hold for yourself, like just landing in this place of wondrous enlightenment and seeing pathways of possibilities and solutions for whatever's in your mind, in your heart, and in our world. We'll do the analysis. All right. First, whoops. Where'd it go? Okay, first one is citrine. Citrine, Citrine, harmonizes the mental body with higher spiritual laws, increases access to divine truth and intelligence, amplifies qualities of concentration, centering, and rational mind. Next one is Scepter Amethyst. Opens and prepares the seventh chakra, the crown, to receive energy from the higher chakras, helps us activate our highest potential through the embodiment of a new core of spiritual identity, authority, and leadership. Next one is diamond. Brings clarity to the sixth chakra, third eye. Harmonizes divine and personal will. Helps us activate personal will in its highest form. Strengthens our ability to act in alignment with divine purpose. Next one is Brazilian amethyst. Transmutes energy from lower to higher vibratory rates. Helps to lift energy from an overly material state. Helps one sense and experience one's unique spiritual reality. And the last one is emerald, a universal heart cleanser and balancer. Energies of the divine mother and the divine feminine gently coaxes the heart to open to allow a greater experience of love in the physical body. Comments?
They're all uncannily perfect. Perfect.
That's what I was feeling today too.
No, I remember, I don't think we often get diamond, but if we didn't do it last time, it was like the time before. Yeah, I try to keep a list of them, and we've had the Scepter amethyst that keeps coming up. I don't remember the Brazilian. I probably just had a blank on that. And yeah, all of these just hit today.
All right, let's do our 6 minutes. Just feeling into that possibilities, wondrous, sourcing. And here we go. Take a breath in. Notice what you're noticing. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And how was that?
Well, I feel like I want to go dance a Mexican two-step. It's construction on our street, and there's a loud stereo somewhere out there, and it's playing very fun music. Not exactly conducive to going deep, or it wasn't for me anyway. I mean, hammering the music, guys yelling at each other, just, not anger or anything, just like back and forth. And so I found it really challenging to get into a space, but that's just my experience.
Well, if it activated the desire to go do Brazilian two-step, maybe we'll call that good. We'll see you doing a jig here a little bit later.
Right.
Okay, I have to hop in. I think some of you know, or you may not, but I went and got my hearing tested, so I'm now wearing aids. And the beautiful thing about it is there's a program on here, and I can phase out surrounding noise while having speech clarity be very distinct. So it's so funny to have Steve and I be in the same doors, and I didn't hear anything. People, even in the same setting, have the same experience. It's just wild. But what I felt was, man, I really got into our saying because I was embracing every bit of the words, and then I started feeling some of the gems that we talked. Remember, kind of weaving their way through. And when it got to it felt like interconnectivity within me was being cleaned. It was being cleansed, not scrubbed or whatever, but like there was a balancing vibration that was going through that felt like a cleanse. For like, I don't know, it was kind of that. But what I felt at the very end as I was working in sourcing, the possibilities and the solutions, I immediately felt it coming in and going, sourcing those from within, because so many answers are here. But I'll start here. I'll look for source material. I'll go to source spaces and data. And all of a sudden I heard, no, what have you been focused on the last many months? The resources that you have within you. And anyway, that it wasn't a loud, it wasn't a rebuke, but it was like a hello there. Hello there. What are we doing in here? Like that little kid on that one YouTube. Linda, listen to me. Listen to me. Go here first.
Awesome.
Well, I got kind of stuck on emerald. So before you know it, I'm looking at the Emerald City.
Wow.
And I'm kind of in Oz and, approaching the Emerald City, kind of just. But then when I got there, I wasn't interested in going in. And instead, I went and walked around the Emerald City, checking it around from the outside. And then I remembered, or somewhere, when we were kids and we were traveling, we went to that Devil's Tower out west. And we said, oh, we want to walk around it. And my dad and mom looked at the thing that said how long it took to walk around. And they said, you can go a little ways on the trail, but we don't have time for you to go all the way around. I was headed off to go a little ways on the trail. And pretty soon we realized we'd probably gone farther than a little ways on the trail. And we didn't know whether we should keep going to get around quicker because or if we should go back. We just didn't know what to do. So we kept going. So I was kind of chuckling about that. And then, then I remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Richard Dreyfuss, where all of the people felt that inner call and those tower out of mashed potatoes and stuff. And they went and they were, and then these little green people came from outer space. I'm like, oh, they're even green. And the interesting thing was they all felt that call and they were quite willing to go on the spaceship and fly off because that was their call. And they had them, they were crazy. But they were so connected as like all the other people were sitting around with their guns, like, no, who are these people? Like their faces lit up because they recognized it. And I thought, so it's kind of what Nancy was saying about it, that it comes from within. But also, I was kind of relating to what Steve was saying. Now I've been retired a little over a year, and I'm just kind of puttering my way around, but I'm not used to not having like a mission, the mission that you're really focusing on. And I got a card from a friend of mine this week, just the dearest card. And she'd been down to visit recently, and she's just was saying all these wonderful things about me and thank much for how helpful I am and present I am and encouraging I am and all these things in her life. And then she wrote, and you're that for so many of us. Lucky us, she wrote. And I thought, well, I'm really not just doing nothing then, And I wondered if, like Richard Dreyfuss and everybody, if my call is just to be me, and it doesn't have to take form of a mission per se. And if the more I can just listen and be and follow that, it'll take me to it's going to take me to their country or whatever, because that's where the call is. So that was my wild experience.
That is quite the wild experience.
It was.
That's awesome. I know.
I loved it. So I have it was sort of like that. It was like, oh, a little bit of this, and I go here, and then it was like something over here. And so I felt like I was floating around, and so then there was this, get grounded, and so you can just pay attention. And then it was like, oh, let's see what's over here. So I really there was the thing about I can't remember what it was. Something about asking for clarity about what's next. It's like just be in the present, and then I'll find out what's next. Just so, but even with that simplicity, it's like there's all this I don't know all around me. So that's sort of where I'm at. But it was very nice. I like going inside.
I think like that be present, right? And the clarity happens without seeking clarity, even in the midst of all the other stuff. Like what
Right.
it's reading what you just said there. It's like there's truth there. Like mic drop. For me, it was like there was some wandering around, just sort of with just wandering, meandering kind of. And then what I heard was go go boldly where no one has gone before. So I feel it's like boldly, like just enter bold, be bold, step out, claim it, like all of that kind of messaging, like the image of, you know, the person stepping off the cliff, you know, what was that, Indiana Jones or something. And it's only after the step is like 3/4 the way, you like, you know, that it arises. And so it was for me all about like that. But at the same time, it was, oh, made a difference to that one. That seems to be becoming one of my themes. And that's based on that starfish story, you know, where you throwing starfish back into the ocean and the guy goes, "You're never gonna reach them all." So made a difference to that one. And then it went from that, made a difference to that one, to the smallest shift that'll make the biggest change. So the bold, what's the boldest, smallest shift in my beingness? But also in that sort of stepping out, it's like no more, no, just for me personally, no more settling into safety, for whatever that's worth. Nancy, I know you're saying something quite profound, but I can't hear.
No, I was feeling it go through my brain. I have a friend who is doing this boldly right now, and boldly means, I mean, she just shares things that are just, that I'm more private than that. But she challenges me to say, am I private or am I hidden? What part of me is muted? But I think this work can live large. Each of us knows our own volume and our own spread, how we spread out. You know, does it make sense? We have to, but to be, I like yours to be as bold and as absolutely real. And Kate, coming back to the realness of ourselves, that's what we're all talking about, without having it be overtly mission driven. The missions will come. You know, I think it's hysterical that we encounters of the third kind going on here right now, because we are being called and we don't know what it looks like yet. We don't, except to hold the moments. I think when I get a little off, I step back and go, what moment am I best to hold? What am I supposed to do? Not so do I, where am I? And am I trying to walk away from that and not hold that? Because that's from various judgments, you know? So yeah, I love that. The smallest acts that have the biggest impact that we'll never know. We may not know this story till someday we look down and go, oh yeah, that was my buddies over there.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, what's our time? 1 minute or two? Probably one. All right, do it again. I got confused. Okay, one. Nancy said two. What'd you say, Linda? Okay, we're gonna go 120. We'll do 120. But we can make it last as long, you know, time is fluid anyway. So have a great grand journey in the next minute, 20 seconds. Here we go. Take a breath. Notice what you notice. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How was that one?
That one felt much more pleasant to me. It was very smooth and joyful, and that the word expansive. We use that word a lot, but that's what that sense of everything's fine and it's all much bigger than I know, and that's part of I was going to say the fun, but it's not just it's part of the adventure. It's part of the awesomeness, the wonder of what we're doing. So I got into that part.
Cool.
Well, the serenade finished.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Or bummer, there's no
And
dancing now.
it was really funny because I was like, kind of like drifting a bit and waiting for the music, and it was not there. But I was on the sidewalk of a little Mexican town or whatever, walking along the sidewalk. And I felt somebody reach down from up above, second story, whatever, and just kind of lift me by the head up off the street and just kept rising. And it's about the time we came back. So it'd be interesting to see what energetics there are that are revolved around that.
Yeah, interesting. Lifted from the noise on the streets. I mean, there's all kinds of metaphor in that. Awesome. Okay.
I was thinking on the smallest shift that will make the biggest change. I saw our little pocket of the world, the splash that it's having on the transformation of the world. And I saw our little splash, and then it was kind of meeting with all these other splashes that were then indeed, and it was like onto darkness, but came all this light. And it was really cool to see our splash touch other splashes with flashes, which then brought.
Very cool. And I think it's so true. It's happening.
Let's see if I can find words here. I like Steve's being lifted and Kate feeling interconnected with we talked about our pockets of people before, and in some of the space analogy. We have done such powerful work for, I don't even know how long we've been doing this, but certainly the last 4 years. We came together with such an intensity in 2019 and 2020, and we're back into a cycle where things look similar, but they're not. And I don't know why I feel that way, because I feel that we've been we've anchored this, even if it's not a day-to-day thought, we're anchored. And other things that are going to rail against this light and this interconnectedness, they just got to do that. They just got to do that. But we're connected in here. We're stronger. There's a strong weave of something going on here. And I felt myself calling in late recently my judgments, going, I have got a boatload of that crap going on about other opinions. And I thought, let's do some delving. And as I posted something, why do I feel the way I do? Why do I think the way I do? I do that every now and then. And I just saw it as being, it's time to open a conversation again, with life, and not arguments, not entrenched, but we've done this work. We're to go like this now. Does that make sense? That's what I'm feeling. It's being lifted to here.
Yeah. I love the witnessing of that because I just know that's so true. What we do here is so impactful, and we are different than a year ago and 3 years ago and 4 years ago, and however long we've been together. I don't even know either. I don't even know, but yeah, the difference we've made. And for me, that one was just a very simple, don't try, just be. We don't have to go try to do anything or fit in anybody's box or create a mission. It's like, just stop trying and just relax. It was a relaxing, it was allowing, it was a softening into just beingness. Yeah, very cool. Closing comments.
I don't know. I feel quite hugged.
Oh, I love that.
I feel quite hugged.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, go forth. Have a fabulous week. I've got my brothers coming to town. My cousin and her husband are coming to town. My niece has her baby shower, so it's very busy. My sister, meanwhile, has COVID, and my mom has a cold, so it's very fascinating time. So hopefully all that will sort itself out, and
Yeah.
just go, okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good evening. Love y'all.
Have a
Bye,
good
everybody.
one. Love
Love
you
you
all.
all.
Bye. See you
Bye-bye.
next Tuesday.